Social Ethics Final. To begin, I will go ahead and speak about the scriptures that I have chosen that represents ethical ideals. The three scriptures I chose were from the book of Exodus, Philippians, and Luke. In the books of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 17, it speaks about the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are considered as the first moral principles. Ray explains how they are known as the foundation of morality in many cultures. The purpose of the Ten Commandments was to shape the Israel society that would reflect God's righteousness and compassion. The last 5 commands that prohibits murder, adultery, theft, bearing false witness, and covetousness are central for not only Christian ethics as well as cultural stability. These passages explain the basis of Christian ethics and God's law. To continue, I will go ahead and talk to you about the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verses 5 through 11, becoming like Christ. As Christians, we learn from the scriptures and try to incorporate what we learned into our lives, being humble and obedient of certain virtues we should have. And from this passage, we learn of the mindset of Jesus Christ. We see his humility and obedience to the Father. Christ did not take his power to any advantage. Instead, Christ became a nothing, a human, and died on the cross for our sins. The ideal person will be like Christ. And by following passages throughout the New Testimony, we follow Christ's life and his doing. For learning of the life of Jesus led, we should try being more like Christ. The last book I chose is Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 28. In these verses, it talks about the ethics of love. Love is actually a virtue that every society knows of. We may fall in love because it feels right, not because it is the right thing to do. Having certain feelings for someone may grow, however, it is up to us to decide on how we want to control them, whether we want to let them grow or if we want to push them back. As Christians and Christian ethics of love explain that we should have love for our God and our neighbors. Ray presented the verses from Luke that explain the parable of a good Samaritan. These verses explain how we should love God and our neighbor. Being a good neighbor means we help those who are in need. This is a principle not only followed by Christians, but by everyone. There are ethical issues that I went ahead and have gained insight on throughout this class. The first of them being is medicine. To me, it was very important just because medicine is the field that I'm actually trying to go in. There was a case study that we were presented in the class about a woman who was diagnosed with cancer, and she was prescribed chemotherapy. Her son, who it was her translator at that time because she does not speak English, decided not to provide all of the information needed to his mother. All he let her know was that she was sick, and because of the treatment she was going to be getting, she would lose her hair and probably would make her sick to her stomach. And through this case study, we were asked as people on the physician side what we would do. So I did gain insight because as a physician, I would definitely have hired a translator and had them translate exactly what needed to be to my patient. Even though the family has their cultural values, I strongly feel that the patient should know of what she has been diagnosed with and the treatments that I'll be giving to her. That's just one of the insights that I have gained throughout this class. From this class, I was able to gain more insight by having a perspective of a physician. From my point of view, I want to tell everyone here that personally, I also have a mother who does not speak English, and due to her liver and heart problems, I definitely would love to tell her all of her problems that she's having, the medication she needs, and so forth. So having this view as a physician side, I do understand. To continue, the next topic would be about surrogacy. As women, there is much that we can do when we try to conceive. Some are just wanting to start a family, like I am, and others actually have been trying to conceive for possibly over 5-6 years. There are many instances where women try to conceive by having miscarriages or stillbirth. They have tried different treatments, such as artificial donation or other types. It is heartbreaking to see that the one thing that women are able to do, carry a child, some can't do at all. And some women actually consider surrogacy, although legal, one should pause and think. As for surrogacy, there are a couple of things that came to mind during this class. One of them would be that technically it is like selling a child, because you are paying, as parents, you are paying for the surrogate to carry your child. You're paying for their appointments, their doctors, ultrasounds, and continuing on to do that. And that's what they would go through because they weren't able to conceive. Another aspect of it would be that the surrogate may not want to actually give up the child. She may want to keep him or her. She may become attached and stay with the child. So that's one of the insights I have and my personal opinion about the surrogacy. To continue, we actually also had another case study regarding physician-assisted suicide. So physician-assisted suicide is a type of assistance in dying. Based off of Ray, he quotes, from the context of a Christian worldview, the Bible seems clear that taking an innocent life is a prerogative that belongs to God alone. This is the basis for long-standing prohibition of suicide and laws against murder. After doing a case study regarding this topic, I became very passionate about this. I have never considered the thought of physician suicide as a thing. There are people out there who would rather end their life than live another day. I gain knowledge and have a distinct decision of what I would do. I strongly believe that no one should have the power to take someone's life except for God Himself. The case study that I will go ahead and speak about would be homosexuality. So my case study is a 15-year-old boy who has been raised in church has had thoughts about his sexual orientation. He is confused and talks to his parents regarding the situation. The boy believes he may be gay but is not sure. The parents come to counseling in which they want to know my view on how to handle this type of situation. There are two things that I would advise them. The first one would be that teenagers do explore their sexuality. I would advise the parents to go ahead and ask help from their pastor. By doing so, the church will actually help them receive grace, truth, and compassion instead of struggling with their sexual identity. The teen boy should attempt to be faithful to Christ. By having the son understand what the Bible has to say regarding homosexuality, they will all know the truth. As it states, do not have sexual relationships with a man as one does with a woman. This is detestable. Another quote I'd give them is that in the United States, gay, bisexual, and other men who have had sex with men are the population most affected by HIV. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, about 67% of people diagnosed with HIV are gay and bisexual. So technically homosexuality is actually a threat to public health. This is because it helps spread AIDS and HIV. By explaining the sum of such risks, it should give them an understanding of what the outcome might be. A topic that I feel undecided about would be abortion. One of the things would be is that having a baby is a gift from God. And as a Christian, the Bible prohibits taking an innocent life, an unborn child. I know abortion is wrong, and I do not believe anyone should ever get an abortion. However, there is one instance where I pause and think about it. For example, parents are weaning their first child and find out that the baby has a fatal genetic disorder. This disorder will leave the child in pain and will result in the baby passing away after a few short months. The parents have a decision to make about abortion. I'm decided whether or not the mom should do an abortion. I'm excited in the fact that abortion is a sin. However, giving birth to a baby and letting them live in pain for a few short months would make me miserable. As a mother, I would feel very undecided. if the doctor's diagnosed, I'd want to know that knowing that my child is in pain or will pass away in a few months. I know as a Christian, abortion is wrong, and I know it is a sin, and I would not want to commit a sin. However, on the other end of things, I would not want my baby boy or girl to suffer through such a thing. So to be able to decide and make a decision, I feel like I would actually have to speak to my doctor and my pastor and possibly not get an abortion and see that if they could do anything to help with the baby's pain. And then afterwards, after the baby passes away, I'd want my pastor's help and seeing on how the pastor's help with being more open and relying on God as to what had happened in our lives. So that is the end of my PowerPoint, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.